Here we go with a couple rundowns concerning these two most recent commits. So we've got a Tyron Evans who stands at 6'3", so a big body receiver, or at least the potential to be one in terms of a frame that could translate.
Yeah, he's a big kid, about 6'3", 6'4", about 200 pounds, from the Charlotte area, was committed to Tennessee, took an official visit to Miami 2 weeks ago, or 2 or 3 weeks ago, but then also popped back up in Miami last weekend as well. And that was really when you knew that the game was afoot. He'd already decommitted from Tennessee by the time that he made his second visit down to campus. And then, as will happen when I was otherwise occupied this afternoon, this young gentleman has committed to Miami. As you see there, 6'3.5", 201. On the composite, number 23 in the state of North Carolina, number 82 overall wide receiver, number 507 overall player in this class. Like I said, was committed to Tennessee, NC State, Kentucky, also places where he had taken official visits. But this is another good get at wide receiver, giving a different body type. And this is a kid who has, obviously the size, but the explosive kind of a play from him is really interesting. In 13 games, he only had about 3 catches a game, so 36 catches in 13 games. But for almost 1,000 yards, that's over 27 a catch and 14 tuds, and had an 89-yard touchdown as well. So this is, just a big kid there. And he also stretches the field and makes things happen. Watched his huddle, is a little limited in his, we'll call it route vocabulary. Doesn't run all of them, but then again, at that size, and he doesn't need to run all of them, but you're definitely looking at vertical kinds of routes. You're looking at, posts and go balls, flags, digs. He does run the kind of the stop curl, the back shoulder, some of those things you'll see from him. But yeah, so he's not really somebody who's going to do the whole entire route tree, but what he does from the route tree, he does really well. Reminds me a little bit of Matt Landers. He was a high school kid from Milton or something in Georgia who went to Georgia that Miami was recruiting maybe near on a decade ago. But similar, he was like 6'3", 6'4", around the same size as Evans, and kind of had the same game type where he does a lot of things vertically. And is, like I said, he doesn't run all of the routes, but the ones that he does really, really well, as you see him get inside on a nice little slant there on the screen. So you add a Tyron Evans, on the back of Vance Spafford, who also flipped from Georgia earlier in the week on Tuesday, I believe that was, a kid from Mission Viejo, California, who had been committed to Georgia, who did not visit last weekend because of personal issues, but that didn't, slow down the show, obviously, since he flipped also. He's more of a slot guy with, that 4.4 or sub 4.4 speed and everything at 5'11", 180 pounds. But, you get Vance Spafford, you get Tyron Evans, and then you keep going in recruiting. So that's a 4-star you took off of Georgia's class. This is a 4-star that you basically took out of Tennessee's class with like a week and a half in between or 2 weeks between the decommitment and the commitment. And then the next player that we're going to talk about, also not at wide receiver, but at tight end, you're starting to really build the kind of class that you want as we transition to the tight end who committed yesterday evening, Israel Briggs from Visalia, California.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all being here. And of course, Falconer TRX in his customary spot leading us off. Thank you for the kickoff of the show. Falconer TRX doing it up right as always. Thank you for that. And also the super chat. Miami's turf has helped in big recruiting wins.
Hey man, like I said, that good old Kentucky bluegrass or whatever it is they're growing down there, man. Yeah, it's just, they really want to be able to, see that, be around that being the kind of grass they're touching when they're going outside to touch grass, as the kids like to say. Yeah, really big recruiting wins. Hopefully some more of those coming up. But like I mentioned, the latest one, the latest one was Tyron Evans. One of the first ones this week was Vance Spafford. And then now Israel Briggs.
Yeah, so this Israel Briggs coming out of California, and as Kim has alluded to, I see listed by some technically as a wide receiver, but projects as a tight end and comps favorably to some recent Miami tight ends. Cited relationships and development opportunities at Miami as being his calling card.
Yeah, man. So Israel Briggs, he's a big wide receiver in high school, but he's going to move to tight end. 6'5", a little bit over 200 pounds. Not the most fleet of foot, but he can play wide receiver at that level. But going to move inside. He needs to gain some weight, but favors comparably to somebody like Elijah Arroyo, who was 200 and he was heavier. He was probably 225 to 230 when he got here. Ends up 6'5", 6'4" and 7/8 and 251 going into the draft. Was he? So Briggs needs to fill out his frame a little bit more, but this is number 7 tight end in the country, 17th in the state of California, and 143 overall. This is an elite player, a high blue chip player. Miami beat LSU head up for this commitment, which I love because I hate the coach of LSU because he's one of the worst people ever to walk the face of the earth. And Israel Briggs, the latest West Coast Cane, and there's a long distinguished list of players who have made that trek cross country. Saw a tweet that a local reporter to his area put up. I'm going to try to pull up my timeline and find this really quickly. I shouldn't have to scroll far because, like I said, I was otherwise occupied. Yeah, Briggs picks Miami, says Gabe Camarillo. Sorry, I had to open his whole profile to see the rest of his name. But he shared the moment with his father, did Briggs, and it says in here that the father is dealing with Parkinson's disease. Briggs then went on to say that the journey here, which included being homeless most of his high school career, made him grow up fast and equipped him for a cross-country move like this. So in so many ways, this is a kid who's had to grow up quickly, as a lot of us have had to, but then also dealing with tough circumstances, have made him into the kind of independent person where going across the country is not necessarily something that is a deterrent for him, and being able to find the place that, fits best for him. And he has elected that to be Miami and everything. But again, this is a really, 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 really elite player. Again, you get, Vance Spafford, again, who's another 100 or, top 120 player. You're going to see here on the screen some of the stuff from Briggs's highlights. And again, it's, this big receiver, the wide tight end going up the seam. He tripped over the 25-yard line there, rough. But he's going to play inside and outside at the high school level, but he's going to move in to be that slot kind of Y flex tight end at Miami. You see him running over the middle there, where we saw Elijah Arroyo score multiple touchdowns last year, and other guys ahead of him or previously to him. So this is another elite get for Miami. So it's just blue chipper on top of blue chipper on top of blue chipper. So all three guys that we've talked about so far today, Vance Spafford, Tyron Evans, and Israel Briggs, have been blue chip guys. So, Miami is going towards the top of the ACC in terms of the rating and ranking of the class, and the per player average rating is elite. And that's really, really, really what you want to see. Now, this is not to say that everything is, roses and sunshine with no, negatives or anything. Jay Lamar from Colquitt County, Georgia, just did commit to Georgia today. So that was a 4-star running back that Miami was in the running for. Remember, I've said on here, and I've maintained that Miami at running back needs to get Derek Cooper from Chaminade 1, and then either one of Jay Lamar and Javen Mallory. If Javen Mallory looks like he wants to stick around, all things being equal, then you're going to take the South Florida kid from West Boca as opposed to the Atlanta area kid from Colca County. All things being equal between them. But he's definitely somebody who could play here, somebody that Miami brought in on an official visit and did want and is going to Georgia instead. But, you know, the big fish is Derek Cooper. He has his commitment forthcoming. And, yeah, so, you know, there are we'll see what else happens this week in terms of recruiting. And then in the next couple of weeks, you know, with commitments already pre-scheduled. Oh, and James Johnson, the borderline 5-star defensive tackle, the one from Fort Myers who transferred to Miami Northwestern. Remember a couple weeks ago when I said that Texas said that he's only, you know, Miami's already been paying him, and so he's going to go to Miami and, you know, all that stuff. That guy, I don't believe that Miami's already been paying him, but he's a guy that everybody in America wants. He's as elite gets at defensive tackle. He is going to be announcing his commitment somewhere on Saturday, I do believe I saw on the timeline. So Miami is in a battle there. We'll see what happens. Georgia is a finalist for him. Georgia is a finalist for Derek Cooper as well and everything. So, you know, Canes and Dogs continue to go heads up on the recruiting trail. The last couple, I mean, 3, I would say Miami's like, 4-1 in the last 5 head up against Georgia in this class. You know, they got Jalen Lamar. We flipped Vance Spafford. We got a couple other guys and everything. So we will see how this all does shake out. But yeah, Miami is really, really, really recruiting well. We will see. I see 918 Kane and said in the chat, Georgia got a crystal ball prediction for James Johnson today. True. You know, that did happen. And, you know, so like situations are ongoing. We will see. That is a premium player at a premium position, and everybody in America wants him. So, yeah, you know, we're not going to get everybody, but, you know, Miami is really doing the thing out there on the trail. Mario Cristobal leading the charge, and this class really looking towards being, you know, one of the elite classes in the country.